makes everything better. Morning. So, what are we doing today? Well, today's actually a fairly warm day. It's roughly 50 some odd degrees where I'm at. And I gotta try and get this done, which, what is this? That is gonna be the anvil mount, or the Anvil Stand, for my new 165 pound anvil. The reason why I needed to do it today and or tomorrow is because we're gonna fill that piece of piping that you guys were just in. And to give you an idea how big this bad boy is, outside is looking like 10 3/4. It's got a flange already on it, which is awesome. And we got a piece of 1/2 inch plate. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this our paint marker. We're gonna position this where we want it. We're gonna draw a circle. Then we're gonna take Mr. Plasma Cutter and we are going to slice that out. Then we're gonna do some grinding, some beveling. We'll get set up. We'll mix a little bit of this, throw it in the hole. One thing that I want to mention with my sweet sunglasses is when we go to melt this bad boy apart, we're going to want to be on the outside edge of this line. Because remember, this is a trace of the inside diameter and we want it to be a snug fit. So the material that's going to be removed, we're going to just want it to be on this outside edge. I put it on this side because I figure this way I'll lose the least amount of material compared to the other spots. And we're going to need to do some more slicing, both on this plate and on the tube that this is on, and I'll get into why that is so when we get to that point. First things first, let's make a spark show. Alright, so we did a pretty good cut. I think a little bit of cleanup. More on this side than the other. But I think overall, a little bit of grinding, and she'll be in like sin. Now, no matter what, engage your eye hole protectors and your anti-wipes. I'm gonna pick a side and I'm gonna take that corner off. And part of the reason why I'm doing that is so when we go to weld this, my welder hopefully doesn't have to work as hard to get a semi-decent weld. Like I mentioned in the welding card video, that welder is only good for probably about 8 3/16, somewhere around there. And this stuff is 1/2 inch and we're gonna be welding it to that really thick flange. So that welder's definitely gonna earn its keep today. Oh. So, I think that's a good sign. She's angled all the way around. Gonna go over here, do the same thing to this. I know it's pinching pennies, but I guess more grinding. Lots of grinding in this one. It's the weekend. I'm grinding. I feel like there's a work joke here somewhere. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do now, or attempt to try, is I'm going to grab those 90-degree magnets, like these. I'm going to grab all 4 of them, set them on the plate, and see if I can try and get that positioned properly. Yeah, see that? In about a month I won't be able to do this. This will all be ice. Probably should dry her off, because that was a bit of a wet session. If you're wondering why I was fiddly fucking around with that, even though I know it wasn't gonna fit, wanted to get this in a spot so I knew where I needed to take more off. A little bit off the top. PHQUE. There it is. Really? You know, the hole this big, you think it'd be easy to get stuff into it. Don't breathe. You guys too. There we go. Now quickly, I'm gonna have to get the welder set up. Man, that's a nice welding cart. I tell you what. So there's 2 things. I kind of want to give you a little knowledge sauce here. When you're welding, okay, where your nozzle is pointed is where that heat's gonna want to transfer. Now, since I'm welding something pretty thick and I got some build-up room, I'm trying to go as straight down as possible so I can try and push as much heat into this thicker metal to get as good of a weld as possible. The other thing is I'm going back and forth between these to help focus the heat on one side, focus it on the other piece, and go back and forth like so. And then the puddle and the wire is just kind of bridging it together. And that to me is going to be the best way for me to get this welder that's not rated for this thick of steel to get as good of a weld as possible. Ideally, I should probably have like a 220, possibly even bigger. This would actually be a really good candidate for stick welding, because those can get some really good penetration on it, but I don't have a stick welder. It's a shame, really. It really is. grind some of these just because some of these welds are pretty. Well, there we go. She's welded up all the way around. Now the next thing I gotta do is I gotta take the grinder and I'll clean off the tops of these so this sits nice and flush. I'm not gonna put my bare hand on it right now because I know better as I go and do this. More grinding it is. Not too bad. Now I'm going to take my chisel and my hammer and take off the slag from inside here. Almost sounds like a church bell a little bit. But it's either here nor there. Let's see if I can't order up one hernia. Heave you ho! As you can tell, there's a little bit of gap on these. The base is just a bit small for, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some measurements and I'm probably going to slice out another square just a bit smaller, hopefully just a bit smaller than the anvil itself, and cover up these gap holes. So I'll get that done. This is when you're mounting an anvil, you gotta mount it for yourself or whoever the person is. And the rule of thumb I was told is you want your knuckles to be almost or right at the height of the face of the anvil. So I might try, I don't know, part of me wants to just take this, part of me wants me to take this lip down a bit and then go from there. The other part of me is saying, you know, just deal with a ½ inch higher, which I don't think is gonna be too bad. I just probably will go that route. If down the road I need to change it, I'll do that. So today is actually the day after when I started this video. I lost daylight, ran out of time, and not to mention the battery died on the camera. So I wasn't able to finish recording yesterday, so here we are. I did go and do the Maynard's run. I'm going to show you kind of what I'm thinking here. What I'm thinking is we'll take a small chunk of this. It'll be straight up and down, like so. And on the top part here, we shall take this and weld the D-ring like so onto it. And the other thing that we'll do is on the inside, directly below this, we'll weld this to that like that, okay? And then we will have 2 of these nuts go through the bottom. One will be a set nut, so it'll lock the other one in place. I'll have to cut this to length also. But we'll take some steel from the pile over there. And, oh, well, that changes things a bit. Shit. I guess that's the problem with not being able to bring your project with you, is you can't do test fitting and shit like this. Now, if I did a little bit of pre-planning, I probably would have measured those holes and measured the nuts and shit like that when I got to there, but that's fine. We'll do some design by the fly and do some engineering. Actually, after some moderate consideration, I think I figured out what I'm gonna do. We're gonna take this slab of steel here, or tubing, and I think I'm gonna probably take 3 inches and 3 inches, punch a hole through the top here. Framing, you idiot. Punch a hole through the top here. Might do some reinforcement plate on the top. Probably not, I'm gonna see how it rolls. This will go through the hole there, and we'll have this. And we should be able to get a wrench. Nope. Alright, so plan C. We're gonna make a C out of this. The bottom side is gonna be open-ended. You think I'd start to learn that I gotta move the camera to where you guys can actually see what the hell I'm doing. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab my anti-wife ear hole protectors, and we are going to slice and dice this bad boy. I think I might use the plasma cutter just because it's plasma cutter. It's fun. Like, why wouldn't you use it? So, and then I'll have to get my oxy propane torch set up, and we'll do some bends. We'll use my post vise to beat that around. I gotta get my forge moved back into its proper spot before we go that route, but that'll be in the future. I'm not mounting this anvil just so it can sit there and look pretty. I'm gonna change up tactics a little bit here. Alright, so we changed tactics a little bit. What I'm gonna try and do now is I got the piece up here, clamped in a vice grip, and I got the vice grip clamped by my post vise. I swap back to my rosebud. We're gonna try and heat up that area, and then very quickly come over here and beat it into submission. Not too bad. Worked better than I thought it would. I'm gonna bring you guys in here so you can see what I'm dealing with. So we got that first bend right there, and you can see where the second bend is. Now, I want to bend on that line. Problem is the line is just this of the edge of the anvil. And I suppose I could bring it back here. I guess that's probably what I'm going to have to do. And kind of go like that. Hopefully the neighbors don't get too pissed at loud ringing noises. So, yeah. Let's do that then. Remember, the key in life is lubrication. Lubrication is key. We need a bigger hole. Now, I don't have a big enough drill bit, but I do got this. I know it is a pencil grinder. I got a carbide tip on here, and I'm just gonna hog the bad boy out until it fits. By the way, we're taking off the edges here. We're technically chamfering them. I know what you're thinking. Nothing says precision like freehand work. You wanna play a little game? Too bad, we're gonna. It's called Beat the Camera. Red light's flashing at me. I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to get this mixed up in here and away we go. I'm pre-set up. Got my Skookumis frig drill. Mixer agent, 5-gallon bucket with water already in it. I got my Quickcrete off to the side here. So let's see if we can't get this done before she goes all to hell on us. Got my safety squints on because I've gotten this shit in my eye before. That's what she said. And it's not a whole lot of fun. So yeah. Framing, you fuck. There we go. Somebody didn't measure it. All right, so I got 2 bags in here, 50 pounders. I got it mixed up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hammer and I'm gonna tap around the sides. And through the magic of editing and or battery issues, we're back and it's actually tomorrow. Again, the same problem as last time. Battery died on me. By the time it was charged, it was too dark for me to come out here and do this. A lot of the light that I am able to work with is because of the 6 windows that are in this shop. Eventually that won't be an issue, but I'm a long ways from there. But the anvil is mounted. Woo! Yeah! Now we can get some heating and some beating in. Now one of the things that I am gonna have to do before I take this bad boy and shove it straight into the surface is I gotta dress these corners. They're very sharp. I don't like that. I'm just gonna, well, up here I'm gonna knock these over and then slowly grade it back. These I'll still take out a little bit. Our final design is this. Take the D-ring, obviously welded it like that. Angle iron, right there, 5/8 all thread, and then we had the 5/8 nut for it. It goes on there. And if any blacksmith actually watches this video, the other question that he's going to be asking is how much ring does it have? So, I got my little 77 pounder that's mounted without chains. And this is very similar setup. Concrete tube, or tube filled with concrete, yada yada yada. So, here we go, ring test. This is a 2-pounder. Now it's on my 77 pounder. And here we go for the new guy. A little bit of ring on the end, but nothing too crazy. Very pleased with this. We're doing some math on that. I know not everybody's big with this stuff, but I thought it was very interesting, so I wanted to share it with you. So here's what I found after doing some math. I did some research on this. I didn't know this off the hop. According to what I was able to find, 1 cubic foot of concrete is 150 pounds. And doing the math on those bags, those put out 0.75 cubic feet. So, or the 2 bags together was 0.75, I think. So that was 112.5 pounds of concrete that fills that tube. And then 1 cubic inch of steel weighs 0.283 pounds. And then we just had to figure out the cubic inches volume of all that. I did some rough measuring before this, so it's not completely accurate, but we're at least in the ballpark. I figured the weight of the cylinder itself, I'll show you here. I figured the weight of this part right here came out to be 121 pounds. This top plate, I figure, was about 16 pounds. And then the bottom plate, I just kind of took that 16 number because they're very similar in size and took 3 pounds off of it for cutting off here, cutting off here, cutting off the corners and shrinking it in so it'd be on the inside diameter. And what I came out total wise was right around 436 rough math. Now if anybody wants to go and do the full-blown math on this, there's the dimensions that I have for that cylinder, and that's all in inches. I didn't measure out this plate down here, but this is a 1-inch plate, and I think it's 1.5 inches wide, and then not to mention, I don't know the thickness of this to here, so that's why I did rough math. I can't actually take that apart right now and get it. Would have been nice to have all that information beforehand, but total weight, including the anvil, is around 436 pounds, and I think in kilograms that came out to like 197 and some change is kind of what I did, just in case somebody from another country wants to know. This thing will definitely give you a hernia now. I ordered 2 hernias before, but if I try to lift this, I'm definitely gonna get one, and probably a broken spleen. So that ends this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked the video. I apologize for the camera issues that I had. I need to get another battery. I'm guessing is going to be the easiest and quickest solution. I don't know how much those are. I'll make a plan for that to be an errand. Next project I plan on doing is well, we're going to get that dressed up. My forge set back up. I won't make a video on all that. Nobody wants to see me clean and organize. So I'll do some cleaning, some organizing, we'll get the forge set back up. And then I got some tongs that I have desperately been needing to finish. Now these are from Ken's Custom Iron. You can pick these kits up for actually a really good price. And I watched John Switzer do several videos on these tongue blanks, and that's what they're called. We're gonna get those, and I'm gonna try and do a leaf because it's been a while since I've smithed anything. So I think that'll be a nice refresher for me. And then secondly, we'll go and we'll start working on those tongs. Those will be my first smithing videos I'm gonna try and record. I know that's gonna be a little tricky for audio since my gas forge is pretty freaking loud. So yeah, you guys have a good day. Like, comment, say something down in the angry section, get your jazz hand routine on. And Fabricobble on, alright?